Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is the Moon. The second card that we have out is the Four of Pentacles. This feels like a moment where something had been being held onto, but that may have not been obvious or it may not have been known. So it can be like you subconsciously holding on to something. It can also be another person holding on to something but hadn't like told you that. We're starting off with the Moon, which is Pisces, and I'm also seeing the Lovers, which is Gemini. And I'm seeing Venus on the bottom of the deck. Okay. I am seeing the World here though, which this would feel like this is going to be coming to a conclusion. It's going to be coming to a conclusion, but I'm seeing this be like a really tough thing that you're moving through currently. So the Moon is about what's hidden, right? It can be stuff that we're still figuring out is going on within us. It can be stuff that we're keeping private and like not really telling other people what it is that we're going through. This has to do with like feelings that are connected with a relationship, like especially pain and healing. So I'm seeing that sort of thing. It can also be like holding on to something even though it like pains you to hold on to it, or even though it felt like it hurt to hold on to it. But there can be reasons why we do that, you know, like Four of Pentacles can be like, yeah, this hurts, but like there's pain in every relationship. And to have the World here too, this means that like something is being completed and something is being resolved. So this isn't just like I'm sort of like holding on to things for no reason. This can be like I'm holding on to it so I can like continue working through it with this person or like something like that. Because I'm seeing like this like pain or this wounding, I'm seeing it be specifically associated with like your relationship with another person, and that it like still hadn't been let go of. But again, that can be, it can be so we can like work through something. And also it can be that like another person is holding on to something, but they may not have told you that. But I feel like it's almost a sense of duplicity with this, because like Four of Coins is here, and so it does feel like holding on to the relationship and also like holding on to the pain. So it's kind of like one of those like pain pleasure feelings of like, you know, you think relationship and you think like love and good feelings and like somebody that we feel seen by or that we enjoy being around, and so those are usually like surrounded by good feelings. But then also having the Three of Swords here too can be something that like it hurts to hold on to it. So like one thing it feels good to hold on to it, one thing it hurts to hold on to it, and then both of these things kind of come with one another. It's like they're handcuffed energetically to one another. And so it may be like I either have to hold on to both of them because they come together, or if I let go of one of them, that means I let go of the other. And so my only choice now is to work through this. And having the Moon here, which is connected with Pisces, that's connected with like our deepest feelings, and it's connected with us understanding ourselves energetically and also understanding ourselves psychologically, and also trying to understand like mental health stuff, and also trying to understand like the spiritual implications of things. So it's like all of those complexities that are very difficult and challenging to work through, and things that we don't necessarily like have awareness of, that we're trying to bring light to so we can understand it. And then you have Gemini here with the Lovers, which that's about choices because it's a 2. And it's also about like our relationships and our dynamics with other people, the way that this relationship may impact you and the rest of your life and the rest of your relationships as well. And also Gemini is too about like communication and sharing things, like especially with another person too. So there can be like something that's being talked through, and also to have Saturn here, that brings a sense of something being constructive. So this isn't just like we're rehashing things and not getting anywhere. This means that something constructive is happening here, and that this is like a means to an end, because there's going to be a sense of completion to have the world. So that can be like we were working through this sort of unknown situation, trying to figure out what was going on. There were things being held onto. We're also trying to figure out what's worth holding on to, what's worth letting go of. 3 of Swords is like there's pain involved, but simultaneously that means healing, right? Because pain and healing, it's just 2 different sides of the same coin, like suffering and healing, trauma and healing, like 2 sides of the same coin. So that's what's at the center of it too. And then with the Lovers, it has to do with like a relationship between you and another person. And then the World here means something is being accomplished. And so this means that whatever it is that's been being worked through, that for some of you may have been sort of like a hush hush thing, what this was that was happening, I'm seeing that you're about to like get to the finish line, because the World means we're accomplishing something, and so we can have like a conclusion here and actually close that particular chapter. Even if things continue with this person, it just means like this part of the chapter you'd be closing, and you don't need to go back, because whatever it is, it's like graduating from that. It's like transcending basically through graduation, because of like going through a completion, this particular energetic cycle. So that's what's happening, is what I'm seeing. Complex. Also too, another thing, like having Saturn here, Saturn connected with Pisces is a lot about like boundaries and honesty, and about like not running away and not hiding, and it's about addressing things, because that's sort of like the lesson with Saturn and Pisces. And Saturn and Gemini, it's about like communicating and like being truthful, and also like the understanding how like our words and our actions are meant to align with one another, and seeing things through and understanding like the power of our communication and that sort of thing too, and like our self-expression, but specifically like what information we choose to like pass on and what we don't pass on, and like that sort of thing, and how we're also like treating our relationships and stuff, and like showing up and participating. Okay, so this is like very rigorous work that's being done. Now I'm seeing 4 of Swords, which this can be a time where it's like, all right, now I'm focused on healing, now I'm focused on self-care, now I'm focused on recharging, now I'm focused on, it's kind of like taking a step back and doing whatever this is that we need to do for ourselves. Like you see the couch here, it's like giving yourself time to relax. This is also about finding peace of mind, because we have the Swords here. So this is about like what's going on up here for us, and like how do I find a way to sort of like assuage that, or to tend to that. And it feels too like this is a resting period, and that it's leading into the Fool over here, which means that it's needing to get rest before you jump into basically a new adventure that you're about to go into. So it's like rest, and then there's going to be action needed. So you sleep, and then you wake up, and you have to get to whatever this is. But I'm getting that this part, it's not only about resting, it's also about doing what you need to like calm and ground and center yourself, because I'm seeing that you're still processing through the 5 of Cups here. So that means that like there's still sadness that you're processing through, there's still like some pain that you're processing through, there's still some acceptance that you're processing through, like that sort of thing. Which seems like it's something that you've been trying to do. Like you opening yourself up sort of to like what's coming rather than resisting it. There is something that's being invested in, but I'm getting like something hasn't fully been realized about this. I'm seeing like major healing that's being invested in, but you could be doing something and like not be realizing that. It's like you may think that you're putting your energy into something and you are, but there could be more than that, that it's like associated with, or that it's like nurturing and growing. Or like something that just hasn't fully been realized yet. It seems like it has to do with something that you're in the middle of. Okay. That you're still figuring out a little bit here. We do have 7 of Pentacles going into 10 of Pentacles, so this means that like what you're currently investing in, as far as 4 of Swords has me thinking that you're taking time to like focus on yourself and what you need. Like I see this very much as being like self-care and healing and like finding peace of mind, like that sort of thing. So it's tending to your life, especially like your psyche, in the ways that you need to. And then having the Fool here, and also it's interesting, like in this deck it's called the Wanderer, and so it's about sort of like opening ourselves up to the chapters that are like begging us to read them within our lives, rather than staying closed off to things. Because I am seeing there be this period over here of like I'm holding on to things in order to like incubate myself a little bit, and then I'm seeing there be a bit of an emerging from that space, and I am seeing that things are being invested in. And 7 of Pentacles to 10 of Pentacles shows that like this investment is going to breed some type of security and stability for you within your life, and that this is like a long-term investment that's being made, and it's going to like produce long-term results. However, I'm seeing something you still may feel like you're on the fence with something. It's not a right now thing, it's a later down the line thing, is what I'm seeing. There's a preparation for something. So this cycle that you're working through is not finished yet, but you know that it's going to be finished at some point. Like I don't know how exactly this is. Like some of you could be like, well, on this date, like this is going to be done. Like it can be feeling like a contractual thing in some way. It may not be that cut and dry for everybody, but I'm seeing there be like, even though many of you, you're not at this ending point yet, I'm seeing that there's like a marked finish line somehow, whether this be known to you or not. But I do feel like you're aware of this. Like you know that this cycle that you're moving through right now, it's not going to be a forever type of cycle. So that's why you're supposed to take all of the time that you need right now to be doing what you need for yourself. Because I am seeing something is going to be coming up, and it may not be something that right now you're necessarily anticipating. Not to be like ominous or anything, but it's not anything that's happening right now. I'm seeing it's going to be happening like a while from now. And having Saturn here is having me feel like this can be maybe like the next time that Saturn shifts into the next sign. It can be something like that, which would be a while, right? It would be like 2+ years when that happens. Well, maybe around 2 years from now. That could be when the end is in sight for this, for you. Not necessarily though, like that's just like an example of how the energy can come through. It doesn't have to be, for some of you it is far away, like that is what I'm seeing. But it can also be something that, like, the duration of something that you're going to be involved in is going to be like the duration of a Saturn transitioning from like one sign into the next, which is usually like 2.5 years for it to move through a sign. So it feels something like that. It can also be connected with like a Saturn return. It just seems like there's some sort of like Saturn cycle that's connected with this, that is the basis of this. It can also have to do with whatever house Pisces rules within your chart. It can also have to do with whatever house Gemini rules within your chart, just going off of like what I'm seeing here. But yeah, what I'm getting is that there is the doing what you need to do for yourself now, and especially like tending to what you need psychologically, and to allow yourself to be at ease and to rest in preparation sort of for where things are going, which means that investing in the things that feel important to you. You could also be doing things in like a little bit of a different way than you normally do, or like trying different things or trying new things, or like taking a chance with certain stuff that you're doing. And also, I am seeing something that is not happening now. It's going to be happening later down the line. And it may not be something that you are seeing right now. That's not to say that in 10 days you can be like, oh, I know what that's going to be for me. I'm just seeing it's something that you may not be anticipating now, and it's also associated with like something in the future for you. So it can be about like future plans, or where you're going, or where the progress is like actually going to lead, as far as like what you're doing now and where that could potentially be landing. I'm seeing something like that. I'm getting too that like your higher self is very much aware of this, as your higher self's aware of everything, and maybe like subtly sending you signs about this. But it could be something that you're still, I'm seeing you sort of like gazing into your own eyes here, trying to like interpret what something means. So I'm seeing there be something happening where it's like your higher self and your guides may be sending you messages, and you're like, I know that like something is happening, but I'm still figuring out what's actually happening, and like interpreting what that means. I'm seeing something like this that's going on here. There can be something that you're going to realize that you want, that you may not necessarily be aware of right now. Okay. We're coming to the conclusion of a chapter. You may still be processing this. This feels like I'm still very much coming to terms with what's going on here. I'm seeing a dollar bill here. There's something that you're still coming to terms with. I'm seeing that you know there's going to be like a new chapter that's starting, but I'm seeing you still like at least like energetically or emotionally processing this thing that feels like this is the main course of what's going on here. And I am seeing that it's like this thing is ending and you're working through it, and also like the literal next thing that you're stepping into, I'm seeing it be a new chapter. But you may not feel like you're fully there energetically in that next chapter because you're still processing this other thing here. You could even like not be accepting like something has ended as well. That may also be something that you're still processing through. Like maybe you're not ready to let go of something. It can be that sort of thing. Or maybe you're just still like reeling from the anxiety that you were feeling. Something is just being worked through. No matter like what this is for you, I'm seeing something is still being worked through in order to allow you to sort of evolve in a way where you can show up in the energy that you need to show up in within the next cycle that you're entering into. This has to do with something that's already happened, so just don't hear me say this and be like, oh no, what's gonna happen now? Like something bad's gonna happen. This is about stuff that's already happened before that you're processing now. So that doesn't mean something is gonna be happening now that you're gonna be struggling with. This is about something that has already taken place that you're still coming to terms with. This is like a past chapter that's already concluded, but emotionally it may not be concluded for you. So it's like physically those events are over and you're not in there anymore, but I'm seeing like emotionally and mentally and spiritually and energetically, it's something that you're still processing through. Okay, so just to be clear and clarify what that is. And also, I'm seeing that work is sort of being done, and I'm seeing a new chapter too. So that's sort of what you're like rolling over into. But the reason why you have to work through this is because you could almost feel like you need to be liberated from something in order to presently step into this next chapter. So that's why this work over here of processing through this is so important. Because if it's not worked through, you're gonna step into the next chapter and be like, I feel like something is still like pulling me back, or something is still holding on to me, and I can't like freely move about the way that I want to in this next cycle. There's an attachment here that you're still working through is what I'm seeing, and it's creating confusion. It seems like it's associated with change, maybe conflict that you're feeling currently. To have the Devil and to have the Seven of Cups, this means that if you're able to detach, you're going to see clearly what's going on, but because you may still be in a space where there's an attachment to something, it's like not letting you fully step into this next cycle. So whatever that is, it has to be addressed in order for you to fully step into this, is what I'm seeing. In order for you to like fully step into it without having like tethers, is really the thing. Because the Devil will be like, you need this thing, so like don't let go of it. But it's like you may not actually need those things, or you may not need to prioritize that thing. It's something like that that's creating confusion, because the Devil is going to like bring up confusion and illusion for you and be like, when really this should be simplified and there should be like one thing that's standing out to you. The Devil is sort of, instead of you being presented with one thing, being like, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, maybe it's this, and then all of a sudden you have all those things and you're like, well, which one is it? Like trying to figure it out. And so that's also what I'm seeing you working through too. You're trying to like clarify this. That's what's happening. And I'm getting like all of this is happening psychologically for you. Like this is a lot of internal moving around that's happening, because you may still feel like emotionally inconclusive about something or still confused about something. But I'm seeing just stuff that you're still working through, that you're going to get to the point of things being clarified, but it's taking, like some of you, you're doing some type of psychological work to figure this out in some way. So it can really be a bunch of things, whatever it is that you're doing. It could be something holistic, you could be meditating, you could be journaling, you could be connecting with like a therapist or something, or doing oh, something is coming through. There's a type of therapy that's coming through. Is it called EMDR? It's either that's the name of it or something similar to that. That's coming through. That is a type of therapy. I think that's usually for like PTSD type stuff, for like trauma type things. Yeah. So that's what I'm seeing is happening here. So basically you're going inside of your energy into like the dark corners of things and trying to bring light to it so something can be clarified for you that you're figuring out, which it's going to be. And I'm seeing that it has to do with like confusion about the future, that you may sort of already have the answer. It's about like what to invest in, and there being confusion about that, and I'm seeing it be related to the future. And it's connected with like when this chapter ends, like what am I doing and where am I going and what's going to be happening. It's like that sort of thing. But I'm getting that I do feel like once you process, I know that once you process this through, the answer is going to be clear to you. Some of you can process through this and have the answer tomorrow. Some of you, it's going to take longer. It really just depends on like how much you actually want this clarified and how willing you are to like see the truth versus what you may want or what you may not be willing to accept. Because when you're holding on to your attachments, it makes the truth very hazy. But when you have no preferences, the truth is always going to be in front of you. So it's really, each of you are going to figure this out at a different time or like a different pace, because it's just part of your process. But what I'm seeing is that if you were like, I want the truth above all and to figure this out, you could have the answer within the next moment. So just know that this is like available to you, like basically whenever you're ready for it, is what I'm seeing. And it has to do with your future, something that is not clarified right now, and something that is being figured out. But you have to let go of attachment in order to see this clearly. And it's about like the next chapter that you're going to be starting and where things are heading. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I am seeing Pisces, Gemini, Capricorn, Saturn, Uranus. I want to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I was seeing 2744 on the time. If you look up the angel number, it can tell you more about what that may mean for you. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting and tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.